Anand Giridharadas has a message for the Democratic leadership. If you can't lead, step out of the way and let those who are ready to lead, let those who understand the existential nature of the danger that Americans are in by having a autocrat in the making, get out of the way and leave it open for those who are willing. I want you to listen to this interchange between Joe Scarborough and Anand Giridharadas, who pretty much says, Democratic leadership, you really need to stop being defensive. You really need to grow a spine, and you really need to get out of the way. I'm paraphrasing. Listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
It's so fascinating, Anand, what you write about, that it's about psychology as much as it is about spending cuts. And no greater evidence of that than the words of Donald Trump's new OMB director, a man who helped put Project 2025 together. ProPublica uncovered this quote. I believe it's from October. And this is the quote. We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. We want their funding to be shut down. We want to put them in trauma. And you take what Maura just said with what you wrote about this being about psychology as much as anything. Trauma, overwhelming everybody, not just federal employees, but overwhelming Democrats, independents, the media, you name it. And then you go back and look at these words. This is, if you take Russell at his own words, this is part of the plan.
It is. You know, America right now is living through a hostile takeover by billionaires and bullies. And we don't have an opposition that is able to say that simply, clearly, and starkly. And you're exactly right. People like Russell Vought and certainly Donald Trump and Elon Musk understand that they are playing on a level of human psychology, right? They're doing politics, but the primary level, I would argue, on which they are operating is a level of psychology, mental health, traumatizing people, gaslighting people, being kind of psychologically abusive to the nation, striking fear, as Maura was saying, into every employee who doesn't know if they're next, doesn't know what to do, can't focus on their kids when they're sitting with them at night trying to read a book to them because in the back of their mind is this email that they're maybe supposed to respond to justify their existence to someone who's not even technically a federal employee. And this hostile takeover on this level of psychology, playing with people's nerves, is still not being opposed by Democrats who understand to play on the same turf of psychology and who understand.
What do you think they need to do, Ann? And I know that you're talking about people need to get involved. They need to run for office. They need to, so what's the answer? What do Democrats need to be doing in your opinion that they're not doing right now?
We need a strategy up and down, right? So running for office is a longer term thing. We got thousands of people looking into that. But right now, the top leaders of the Democratic Party, I don't expect the revolution to come from them, but the top leaders of the Democratic Party need to stop being milquetoast. I'll be very specific. Last night, Rachel Maddow's show, Leader Jeffries is on the show. Tell me if I'm wrong. You can at me on any social media platform if I'm wrong. I don't think any American watching that interview with Leader Jeffries would have come away feeling defended deep in their heart in the middle of an autocratic takeover by that high-ranking Democrat. It was full of legal terms as it relates to in terms of, and it was full of every time she gave him a chance to empathize with people who say he's not doing enough, they're not doing enough. Every time she gave him that opportunity as a gifted interviewer that she is, instead of saying, yeah, I can get why people feel that way about what we're doing. Nope, we're doing this. Nope, we don't need any more steel in our spine. defensiveness and self-protection do not make an opposition. It is going to take a true fiery opposition that understands how deeply undefended Americans feel right now by this psychological onslaught by the abuser in chief and by his shadow president. And it's going to take, if you are not one of the people with the mettle to stand up to an autocratic coup, get out of the way. There are so many other jobs. Become a lobbyist like you're probably planning to do anyway in a few years. Accelerate that plan. Get out of the way for people who know how to stand up and are adequate to this moment.
And that is absolutely correct. There are a myriad of Democrats right now that know how to handle the likes of Donald Trump and how to promote that message to the American people that they can understand what these guys are really doing. Not using all this antiseptic speech or whatever, but going to the guts of where they need to go. You have to wonder. AOC attempted to lead the oversight committee. We got an old guy who's been there. It's his turn, but he has no energy to go out there and fight this fight that we're in. We also have Jasmine Crockett, who attempted to be chairperson of the Democratic Policy and Communications Committee. We know that Jasmine Crockett is an excellent communicator. We know that she knows she can think on the fly and she can nail it whenever they bloviate or whenever they attempt to pull one over, which is what we need. The American people need to hear competence. The American people need to hear that this person has my back. The American people need to realize that, oh, they get it. And right now, from the leader right back down, they are not doing the job. Anand went ahead and gave the example of the leader of the Democratic Party speaking to Rachel Maddow last night. And the amount of passion that was needed, not legalese that says we are winning in court and all that kind of stuff, but no, we are going to take them to court and beat them, and we are going to slow down the House however we can, and we will work with the Senate to ensure that these bills that harm Americans, both in red states and blue states, aren't done. We are going to put all blocking mechanisms in. We need to hear the passion from these folks. And you know what? They may think it's not functional, but when people feel that passion and they feel like we can make a difference, they get up. And if they get up and they go to each one of those town halls, if they keep those switchboards going, if they start marching on Washington, if they start doing these things, they scare Congress people who want to serve another term. You know, Jasmine went on a program recently and she said, look, we don't have to wait on the midterms. We can activate now. There are 3 seats up for grab, 2 in Florida and 1 in New York. And those seats are likely they're Republican seats. But guess what? When you go ahead and you start filling the entire field with the message in those 3 districts that Donald Trump is taking away the Medicaid of your people, that Donald Trump is going to destroy the Medicare of your people, that Donald Trump is going to ensure that your school district, those after-school programs are gone. He's going to ensure that the breakfast for the most needed children are gone. And, you know, people who are not fed correctly, they grow up with mental deficiencies, and people with mental deficiency have a bigger likelihood of becoming criminals and endangering your community. All these things that should be said outright continuously to point out that, look, yes, you guys made a mistake by electing this felonious criminal, but we still have a second crack at preventing his most dangerous effectuation from coming to pass. It can be done. But you have to have those who are willing to fight. You have to have those who are going to speak up. You can't have the legalese. Well, we are fighting in court and we're doing this. No, it's not only about fighting in court. The American people don't see that. That happens behind closed doors. You have to do what Bernie Sanders is doing, the oligarchic tour around the country. But Bernie is one guy. You have to do what Jasmine Crockett is doing. She's making the rounds and she's activating folks. You got to do what AOC is doing. You got to do what Maxwell is doing from Florida. But those are just a few. If these guys were the actual leaders in the Democratic Party, they could activate other resources to get the job done. Anand nails it. We need Hakeem Jeffries to, yes, grow a spine, speak louder. Not only speak louder, speak more to the people and not to lawyers. That is what we need right now. Because what we are faced with is a clear and present danger that isn't going away until those people who realize that it's a steam truck rolling in. Until that comes to pass, we're giving them a running start to further destroy the country.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.